Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well, and I'm here to cover the Barbados versus St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots game. The CPL has now shifted to Guyana for the last leg, and the games are going to be played at the Providence Stadium. Now, the Providence Stadium is famously known for the three Bangladesh ODIs that happened there that were very low scoring. Average score was about 145 only, and we saw that leg spinners, left arm spinners, off spinners, every type of spinner really just succeeded on that pitch. So while it also might be good for someone like Dwayne Bravo who has a lot of cutters, let's see how many of his overs are actually ended up being used, as we might see a lot of part timers being used in such a contest. Apart from that, also keep in mind that my Fab 11 has this amazing leaderboard where if you play consistently you will be able to get some good profit. And yes, also the South African players will not be available for the games now onwards. Dwayne Pretorius is not going to be available, Quinton de Kock is not going to be available, and nor is David Miller. All of them have come to India for the series. Next up, Devol Brewis is not in that team, so he will be available. So let's see who are the picks that you can make for this specific game. From the keeping section, Andre Fletcher is an obvious choice, but please keep in mind that Devin Thomas should come in for Quinton de Kock. And what does that really mean? Devin Thomas did bowl in that first game, if you keep in mind where he did play, and he bowled pretty decently at that, if you remember. And if you look at the scores up here, he got 54 odd points against TKR, and it was all out of bowling. So, what can you do, and how can you make this effective for you? Keep in mind that St. Kitts have a lot of left handed batting, including Sherfane Rutherford in there, which means that he's actually a potential option to be used. So do keep that point in mind. Good Grand League captaincy, vice captain, or rather, a good Grand League pick, maybe a captaincy, vice captaincy choice. If you're playing small leagues and you're confident that it's going to be really slow and it's going to turn, then maybe you can drop Andre Fletcher too. Then you look at the batting section. Kyle Mayers, I think, will pick himself yet, as he might yet bowl enough too. I don't know if I'll give him the captaincy option here unless and until maybe he's chasing, because while batting first he's had a little bit of a struggle. Evan Lewis would pick himself again. I think he'll be very important for St. Kitts as he's one of their better T20 batters. And the last pick would be one between Devol Brewis or Darren Bravo. So for now I'm picking Devol Brewis, as keep in mind he can bowl some leg spin too. Now we look at the next section. From here you have to pick Jason Holder, Dwayne Bravo, Rakeem Cornwall. Going to open the batting and might bowl his full overs too, so can be very important. Corbin Bosch has not been bowling, he's only been playing as a batter, and his first innings record not too impressive and not too great against spin either. One GL pick that I forgot to mention here is Azam Khan. He's known as a spin basher, and we're going to expect a lot of spin to come up against in Providence. So if there's a guy who will be able to really bail out Barbados, it could be him. Then you look at the bowling section. Rashid Khan on this pitch, you have to pick him. Obed McCoy, you have to pick him too. His cutters and slow balls can be very useful. Mujibur Rahman will be very good on this deck too. And the last pick from this section, Akila Dhananjay, especially if he's bowling second. While bowling first, he might bowl at defensive points. But in Guyana, we have seen that there's enough turn irrespective of the innings that you're playing at. Now, you realize one thing here, that you have four bowlers, you're not really able to accommodate the fifth spinner. Like I mentioned, leg break has a great record here, and which means Hayden Walsh Jr. can really be in the game. Now, how do you manage to accommodate Hayden Walsh Jr. without having to make a sacrifice? Because here you can see you're full of your 11 slots and you have three compulsory batters, so you're not able to do much. So I have one alternative for you here. So like you can see here on the Fan to Play app, I'm able to go one batter short. Devol Brewis, we are not sure if he'll bowl or not. so you're able to accommodate Akila Dhananjay, Hayden Walsh also over here without having to make any sacrifice, and you're able to save this team with just two bowlers. So isn't that a big advantage, especially on such a track where we know that it's going to turn? One thing that I recommend you to do is check the pitch report on FanCode before you make a final call. So luckily FanCode starts streaming these games a little bit in advance, so it would be advantageous for you to go check the pitch report once. Maybe if they've relayed the track, it could mean that spinners might not get as much help. So you should keep that in mind. I'm attaching the Fan to Play app link in the description too, so you're able to take full advantage of this team benefit. And now let's look at the Exchange 22 picks for this game. So yes, here we are on the Exchange22 app. Here you're able to pick just a few players and make your team without having too much of hassle there. So how do you form your team in the best possible way? Here we look at the options that we have now. Like I mentioned, David Miller, Quinton de Kock, all out of reckoning. Azam Khan at rupees 19, if he's batting first, is a very good choice. You just need 20 odd runs from him. Then you look at Mujibur Rahman, Hayden Walsh Jr. if they're bowling first at this price, pretty decent, especially Hayden Walsh Jr. if we have any indication that he's going to bowl his full quota. From the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots, Rashid Khan if batting first and bowling second, because then he'll get opportunity in both departments, will be very very handy. And maybe Duan Jansen might bat a number higher with the absence of Dwayne Pretorius and might also end up bowling his full quota. So that would be a call to take based on team combination. Akila Dhananjay bowling second, surely an amazing pick on this pitch. So yes, like you can see, a lot of these calls are highly dependent on the track. You will have to take into final consideration what the final pitch and the track is, and based on that you can take a final call on whether you want to really back the spinners. As much as I currently have in the preview, I might not be able to cover this game live on Telegram as I might have another commitment at the point. But you, all the best to all you guys. Do check the pitch report, and I hope that one of you can crack a GL. This is one of the best games for you to go and make multiple teams and win big. All the good luck to you, and hit the like button before you leave.